Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tornado Talks. This is another edition of the series I do where I just talk about stuff that's on my mind and what I like in that. But this will be about the Mario Galaxy movie. If it wasn't obvious, this will be my thoughts on it and how I rate it. First off, I want to clarify this will be very spoiler heavy. So if you haven't seen the movie, click off now. Seriously, I will be talking about a majority of the spoilers. But, anyways, let's get to the presentation. Okay, so first off, what I'm going to talk about is stuff I would say I'd like to be fixed in the movie, even though that can't happen, but you know what I mean. So, the stuff that I feel like that should have been fixed were Rosalina and Toad's you know amount of time in the movie. It just felt like they didn't have much, and Toad was amazing in the parts he was in. Rosalina, loved the parts she was in, although it just felt like she needed more. um Another thing I felt like that really needed to be in here was just a little more time for the characters to interact with each other, and some more moments where you get more continuity on like how Bowser went to good, because that was out of nowhere almost, but I could see how people instantly think, yeah, they just talked a little bit and boom, he's just good. But another thing I want to talk about is I think they could have done a little bit better with, like, I don't know. I felt like the movie could have gone slower than that. I think I've said that already, but I can't remember. I'm doing this off the cuff. That's how I like to do these. But yeah, I just think this movie should have been a little bit longer. But that's mostly it for the complaints. Um, Now I want to address something before I talk about the stuff I loved about this movie. I've known the internet, the critics, and blah blah blah. Here's the thing. I'm sorry if any critics are watching this or like into big serious movies. This is not your type of movie. This is a different type of genre where it's mainly meant to be just fun and wacky. That's what this movie is about. It's not supposed to have a deep narrative. That's not what Mario is. There might be the Paper Mario series, Mario and Luigi series, and other series of Mario where they're more serious, but those are mainly spin offs. And there is the Rosalina storybook thing in Galaxy, but that is mainly optional. And this movie was taken a little more seriously with the characters. It's just people are blinded by the other stuff, making it sound like it's not. But this movie is not made for a super serious topic. It's supposed to be a fun, enjoyable movie, like how the games are fun and enjoyable. That's what this is supposed to be. And I love it for that. We don't get that too many movies like that. These days, we get so many big, serious movies. It's kind of gone dull on me, but I still love them for nonetheless. But it's nice to have a break once in a while from a serious movie. So this is just nice to have. But yeah, anyways, let's talk about the stuff that I loved from this movie, and there's a lot. Let's get right to it. Okay, now for the stuff I really liked about this movie. There's a whole bunch to talk about, but let me get the simple stuff out first. First off, I love how the characters were portrayed. It really did feel like the characters in the games. Second off, although what I said about The length of the movie and pacing, I didn't mind it that much. Another thing is, I really loved how this movie looks, like how everyone is saying. I mean, come on, can you really blame me for saying that? But of all that stuff, there's my favorite thing about this movie, and that is the genuine care they put into this. They gave us some of the most, like, depth we've had for some of these characters, even if people were saying it's not that big. For Mario, this is way bigger. Because the games don't really show this stuff that much, unless it's an RPG in that. And even then, those are not really canon in actual Mario. But I love the way they did Bowser and Bowser Jr. It really did feel like a father-son reunited, coming back together, and it's just so cute seeing them together. I always have a smile on my face when Nintendo does stuff with them, and having it in a movie just made it even better. Also, when I thought about Peach and Rosalina's relationship, them being sisters, sisters, you know what I mean. I thought it was an interesting idea. Not what I first would have thought, but honestly, I did not mind that choice. A little weird, but I think it was okay. And by far, I just love how Luigi finally got time to shine, because that was a problem with the original. There wasn't much Luigi. And here it makes up for it, because man, Luigi was great in this movie. Probably one of the funniest characters. Another thing I loved about it was Yoshi, obviously. I mean, the cutest little guy you could see in the movie. It's really funny the way he did stuff. Stuff would just mess up, and it's because of him. But another thing I really loved was, oh my gosh, I know people have said this many times, but this is pretty much a Nintendo fan feast. Like, who was expecting Game & Watch? I wasn't expecting Mr. Game & Watch. I don't know who would have. But yeah, they're definitely setting up for Smash Bros. But I love the way they portrayed Fox. It was really nice, and it really does feel like Fox. And I like how him and Mario are kind of like just like bros at the start. It's kind of funny how they just go, "Hey, nice stash, nice ride." Like, I just thought that was funny. But another thing is, like, they were going way more into Mario and Peach's relationship than I thought they would. Because if you actually, like, pay really close attention, you could see how much they're growing as a couple. And it's crazy. Heck, we never even got a kiss from her, from Mario in the last movie, which that's just a standard thing in the games. But here, they actually did it. And this is the only time she did it. So, it's interesting how they're portraying them. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually went more with this, since how much they're doing it. Not only that, I think I know why they're going more in depth with their relationship. One, I know this is a movie. It's mainly story driven, and that's one thing you can do to help this series out. Have these small little stories fill out the middle of, the main plot, which the main plot is so simple. I feel like these middle stories are worth having in there. Yeah, that's mainly what I think about the relationship there. Another thing, Luigi was definitely hinting at Daisy, because honestly, I was hoping for Wario to be the character revealed, but nope, it's Daisy. And honestly, I'm glad it was Daisy, because Wario would have been epic, but I understand why they did Daisy. One, if they're going with Mario Land characters, it makes sense to do Daisy first, since she was the first one besides the Tanga, which he could be the main threat for the next one, because facing that, the threat with Peach and Rosalina getting captured in that. But who knows? Another thing is what I love about these Mario movies is they're paying respect to all kinds of Mario games. And I know this movie does not have much of the Galaxy game in it, but I don't think it was supposed to be that. Even though it has Galaxy in the name, I think Galaxy was just a premise of the movie, not really the main point of it. Like, most of the planets are based off of different Mario games, aka Jurassic Kingdom, and I believe, well, there was Honey Hive, but they did mention Galaxy stuff. I know there was another planet that was from Galaxy, but what I'm saying is I don't think Galaxy was the focal point. I think it was mainly the setting of the movie, which I like that. Another idea I've heard tossed around about the third movie was Mario Bros. Wonder, which that would actually be kind of cool and it makes sense with Daisy's reveal. But I don't know about that. But by gosh, I cannot believe how much the music has improved in this. Thank you for only 2 licensed musics, and honestly I didn't even notice the second one, which I believe is in the Yoshi and Brooklyn scene. I didn't even notice that was licensed. Funny about that. But also Mario and Luigi singing Pizza Pie or whatever, I feel like that was just fitting because 1, Italian, 2, I think it just fits their character way too much. But anyways, that's mainly what I have to say about this. I genuinely think this film was really good. If I had to rate it scale to 1 to 10, I'd give it a 7. There's definitely some fixes, but from what we got, I think it's fun. It's a nice, enjoyable watch, and I recommend watching it if you haven't watched it yet. But anyways, I hope you all have an amazing year. God bless you all.